What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another tutorial transformation on my cousin. We're going to be doing a taper fade, a high taper fade haircut with a beard fade as well. Alright, so this is going to be a walkthrough. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, comment down below what you guys want to see next, but let's get into it. So first, we're going to go ahead and just saturate the hair. We're going to separate the long hair on top from the sides. And we're just going to, why we wet it is just the hair becomes more pliable and it's easier to move. So we can make sure we're being precise. So go ahead and wet the hair slightly and then go ahead and part the hair where the long hair is and then go ahead and pin it up. And I believe, like I said, we're doing a taper fade. So I believe we knocked down the sides to a 3 and we're going to blend that into the top and then we're going to do a high taper into that 3. So the misconception between taper fades, so original taper would be, you cut down the sides to a length and then you just taper into that. A fade, you do a bolt all the way across and fade that all the way up. A taper fade is you could cut down the sides to a shorter length, like a 1 or a 2. Obviously blend that up and then you do a taper into that. So you would taper out the sides and the back, but it wouldn't be a full fade. So that's why it's called a taper fade. So we're knocking down the sides to, right now I'm doing a 3, but I believe we go back over with a 2. And then we taper into that fade from a 2 to the longer hair. So I hope that kind of clarifies what a taper fade is. But now we're putting our bald guy line in. The camera wasn't in focus, so this is a high taper. So we went from the top of his ear to the bottom of his vertical bar, and just go ahead and bald that out. And with his haircut in particular, we don't taper out the back. We go ahead and do a round back. So while we're here, I'm just going to go ahead and do the back of the edge up and clean him off because he is one hairy mother. We are Assyrian, so we get pretty hairy. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean off all the back area, get that out of the way so I can focus on the front and doing the taper and the beard. Alright, now to start off the fading, same thing as usual. We got our ergo clippers here completely open and we're setting that first guideline about, since it's taper you can make it a little bit smaller compared to a fade, but it's about an inch, half inch to an inch guideline. And then we're going to be using the single magnetic guards here. So after we set that guideline in, I'm going to go ahead and just remove that line. So we start same thing, all the way open, halfway, all the way closed, and then after that just go ahead and move the lever detail as you need. But next we'll move to the 1 guard, open. Go ahead and start to fade out into that 3. It's going to slightly blend into that 3, but obviously later on we'll go back with our 2 guard to connect it all. But use that 1 guard completely open, coming off the head, not digging in, and using the corners because this is a tighter, smaller area. You don't want to use the full blade because then that's when you'll start creating lines. So you want to do your best to favor one side, like I usually say in my other videos. And then we're just going to close it all the way, and then we'll move on to the next guard, which is the 0 guard, completely open, and then halfway, and then all the way closed. Now we have that 2 guard I was saying, and we're just using the corners, getting those darker areas out to make sure it has a seamless blend. After we got it pretty much all blended out, I know it's not fully blended, but once you kind of see most of the blend, I'm gonna go ahead and edge them up just so I could really see where in the fade needs to be detailed, and then go back and detail it. But right now I'm just doing scissor over comb to blend into that longer hair, and all that excess hair in the back that we did with the 3 guard, we're going to connect that later when we do the scissor cut on top. Now we're just going to line up his corners. he doesn't get a full lineup all the way because he kind of has a widow's peak. We kind of let that grow out, so it could be, you know, messy in the front. So we just line up his corners. So I just went in from kind of the middle, went to the side, connected that, and where I could get a sharp line but not pushing him back, but still keeping a nice natural line. And since we're on the side and the taper's all done, I'm gonna go ahead and do half his beard already, since we're already on the side. So we cut it down short to a 1 guard, so we have a 1 all the way around, and then we're gonna fade into that. So just make sure everything's nice and even, cut it all down to that 1. Alright, now we're going to fade into the beard. So I'm making my new guideline right here. It's not a drastic beard fade, but it is slightly, you know, more, you know, excessive beard fade. So we went to where the bottom of his earlobe is kind of. Usually you'd be around the top of the ear when you would fade it. So that's where the guideline is. Now I'm just going to go ahead and clean out the back line. And then I believe I'm going to do the bottom line first, and then I'll fade into it. Keep as natural as possible. Kind of have them put their head up a little bit, so you could kind of see where the outline of the beard would be, and then just make a nice straight line or flare it out depending on how they like their beard. We're just going to ball them out now with our Gamma shavers, get it nice and clean. Do the back line too while you're here. Just keep a little bit time efficient and helps you speed up your haircuts. And to fade the beard, it's going to be the same steps. You know, we start with the blade completely open, create that guideline, and since the biggest guard was a 1, the next guard we'll use is just our half guard. Or, you know, you can pretty much blend out just using this, no using half guards. As you can see, it's pretty much all blended out. You just got to do a little bit of detail, but blend out the same. We did blade completely open, and then we closed it all the way, and then halfway to detail, and then now we're back with our half guard and just detailing whatever we missed from that blade open to the 1 guard. Super simple to blend out. So that's the done side, and that's how he looked before he came in. We still gotta line up the beard, so we'll save that later, but now we're gonna go ahead and work on the other side. So same steps, try to follow along and see if you can predict what the next step is gonna be. Alright, now when it comes to lining up the bottom of the beard, I always like to have them recline back on the chair, and then I have them put their head up slightly, not too high but not too low, just enough where I could start to see their outline of their jaw, and then that's what I follow. So I go right below his jawline, as you can see, created that line, and I go slightly downward at a downwards angle towards his Adam's apple, and then I'll go to the other side, do the same thing, and I'll step back and I'll look, what's off, or if people have a symmetrical jaw structure, most of the time it'll be pretty much on point, which right here you could tell it's pretty much on point. Now just step back, clean off all the excess hair, and then that's how I usually line up the neckline. And obviously it depends differently on each beard, if they have a bigger beard or a shorter beard. He's got a shorter beard, so I went pretty much right below his jawline and then dropped it slightly, so when now he looks straight at you, it gives him the illusion of a nice structured, a nice chiseled jaw. Now we're gonna go ahead after this is line up his top of his beard line. Just applied a little bit of shave gel. I did come out with my own shave gel from the Joseph line, so if you guys do want to go ahead and check that out, links will be down below. Comes with aloe vera and vitamin E, so it really moisturizes and neutralizes, gives nourishment to the skin. So go ahead and check that out. But shave gel helps not irritate the skin, and it kind of helps you see that first line. As you can see, it looks like I got a nice sharp line, but you want to go ahead and wipe that off and then reline it again, because it won't be as sharp. It still looks good, but you could get a little bit sharper. And then as the skin absorbs the shave gel, you'll be able to get a nice crispy ash line. But you just want to go over it multiple times, a good 2-3 times. And when you do use shave gel, you could go over the skin a few more times without irritating it. So that's what I like. But make sure to stretch the skin with your opposite thumb. Keep that razor about 45 degrees, and then just create a line where it's fullest and pull straight, create a nice straight line, so when you let go you'll have that nice curve at the top near his ear. Also, I did come out with our new Turkish razors. These were the old ones in the videos. I came out with 3 different new ones. You got the matte blue like usual, you have the black designed one, and then you also have a Laker camo edition that I came out with. But my camera did die, so I had to switch over to my iPhone, so the rest of the video is on my iPhone. My camera died, so sorry about that. But see, as I'm pulling straight up with my thumb, and I'm creating that straight line coming towards his mustache, so that when I let go, you're gonna have a nice curve, as you can see. Alright, now we're gonna go ahead to the top. We're gonna saturate his hair. His hair is pretty wavy, curly, but we're gonna cut it shorter. So make sure the hair is fully saturated, and then we're going to go ahead and create our first section, which is I pretty much take the middle of his eyebrow area as the section, which is about 2 fingers width. It's a little bit bigger of a section, but take from the middle of his eyebrow, where his eyebrow begins on the left side and the right side, that's where I take that section. And right now I'm connecting the back to the 3 guard, so I'm keeping my hand. I wish I showed this back angle, but cutting the long hair to the short hair, and I'm going to bring that guideline all the way back up, and then that will set the tone of how much hair I cut till the front. So I'm going to pull that up. I'll see where I cut short from all the way back there, and I'm just going to connect it. And here comes a better angle, so boom. Go ahead and pull all that up, and I'm just connecting that all the way to the front, leaving the front, the longest part compared to the back area, just so he has that flow. Now we're gonna push everything to one side, and then we're gonna take, so that first section that we took was a vertical section. Now we're gonna take horizontal section, so side to side, and we're gonna connect that short hair to the long hair, and just cut all that. And we're gonna move all the way up, doing the same thing. And then once we get through this whole side, we're going to take half of that section, push it back to the other side, and do the same thing. Now as we work all the way back, that'll be it. Didn't get any other footage of drying the hair or anything because it was tough with the camera, but this is the final look, YouTube. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something new from this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Really appreciate you guys' support. We're coming in at 40K. We're getting close to 50K. So I appreciate all the support. Love you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out.